the writing's on the wall. They're starting out the year on January 7th with the appearance at CES with Jason Ronald. And obviously, that is the Lenovo event, which is expected to have the creator of the Steam Deck there as well. And I'm going to say this. Look, we're going to speculate on what he's doing there, but I think it's safe to say that he's not showing up there just to hang out and sit in a chair. He's there for a reason. He's presenting something. I personally think, and then we're going to open up the show with this particular story. I think he's going to be showing off the rumored Xbox OS. And I think why that's important now is if now I don't know. Again, I think everyone will remember what I'm talking about. A couple of weeks ago, we had a couple of industry bigs in the form of Paris Lilly and Tom Warren. Now, Tom Warren had tweeted something that I think a lot of people either discounted or didn't put much thought into it. And he says that this is an Xbox it's gonna make more sense soon. He didn't specifically say when soon, but he said soon. Interestingly enough, Paris Lilly, everyone knows who Paris is. Paris, phenomenal creator of his own YouTube channel, but also one half of Gamertag Radio with Danny Pena. He's obviously a part of Kind of Funny in a big way. He is not only going to be there, from what we understand, in CES. He had followed a tweet regarding what Tom Warren had to say about basically saying, yeah, you're onto something. Now, I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but basically that's what he said. And look, I think the writing's on the wall. This is an Xbox. I thought from inception, Mav, was brilliant because the traditional console, yes, it has a place here. For people like me, I am the test subject. I am the poster boy, if you will, for I just want a console to plug in, put it onto the TV, and go, right? Like, I'm not a PC head, and I will never be one. But there's a difference with what they're doing for next generation. Now, we're not going to get into, what 2026 is going to levy about this PC-like Xbox that is, something new but something the same. We're not talking about that. What we're here to talk about is what they actually meant by this is an Xbox. And I think it's going to make a lot of sense at CES 2025. And if I am correct in saying so, and he shows off this OS that goes across multiple devices, meaning your tablets, your phones, your PC, your Steam Deck, your Lenovo, whatever you have that you can play a game. If they all work the same, meaning that they all have a boot up screen that looks and plays like an Xbox, this is going to tear down what traditional gaming looks like. I'm here to tell you, folks, I know that change is super scary, and a lot of us old heads like me, feel that certain games don't belong on a PlayStation, and I'll never bend the knee to it. But gaming as we know it, Mav, is changing. It's changing in a big way, and leading that charge is Xbox. And I think that CES 2025, with Jason Ronald being there, is going to be massive. What do you got for me, brother? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I've been trying to rack my brain about why the title change as well to coincide with the announce or the information that he was going to be there, right? VP of Next Generation, because like on LinkedIn and stuff, it still said his normal, title, but they were using that to say he was going to be making an appearance at CES, right? So for this Lenovo event, they're supposedly announcing the Steam OS version as well, which will be the first handheld third party device manufactured as kind of like a Steam Deck option, right? So there's also going to have other versions of the same thing that are not Steam Deck versions, right? So that would mean potentially you could end up having, the Windows-based version that is going to be Xbox OS as well. So that's if there is like a formal announcement of something specifically, like this could end up being the first time we see that Xbox OS kind of operate on a handheld. Whether it's ready or not, they could maybe even show it as, hey, this is happening. We're working with Lenovo. We're working with third party companies to have the Xbox console experience as close as possible to that on any device that you own, including this. And that's kind of what the future kind of holds in that space, right? This is what the other reports have come out about what the next generation consoles are going to be like, as well as hybrid PCs. Essentially, that's the same thing as a handheld device running an Xbox operating system, Windows-based Xbox front operating system there, because you want to boot into Xbox mode and then you want to be able to get out of that and do other things, right? That's the same thing that Steam did with the Steam Deck that's running on Linux. It boots up into Steam OS. You can get it out of that and you can do other things on it, right? You can install Game Pass on it. You can do whatever you want on a Steam Deck, but it takes workarounds, right? So they want to make it simpler for Xbox users and people to be able to access their games and to get access to
Correct.
their storefront. So if you have this third party device and you buy it and you boot it up, it's going to be an Xbox, right? Whether
Right.
it's a Lenovo, whether it's an Asus, or whether it's whatever, that's what they're going for. So that the core aspect of it, though, is they got to get the OS right. They got to have it working, right? So that's what I think they've all been working on. Now the other part of that is, the games,
Yep.
right? So the games have to work across all form factors. So that's going to be the interesting thing, because taking the console games into that space is going to be the next step, right? And I'm not talking about first party, because they already give dual entitlement between PC and first party. I'm talking about all the games that you may own in your library that they're giving dual entitlement to right now, which was something else they did on the Xbox app recently. I don't know if you caught this, Boom, but I was a couple weeks back. They actually did this massive update on the Xbox app on PC, and they added like 400 titles uh, to the Xbox app on PC that were just missing from the storefront on Xbox. And that added several games that previously didn't have dual entitlement before into the Xbox app on PC. So if you look at your Xbox app on PC, you may be surprised. Oh, there's some third party games there that I've bought before that are now showing up as downloadable native on my PC. So they also said there's way more to come that in that regard, and they're also adding more and more games to the cloud ownership feature as well. So all these things are coming together, right, to be the true Xbox everywhere thing. And then it's going to be backed by this operating system front forward facing Xbox thing that's going to be on all these different devices, including native devices made by Microsoft and Xbox in the future as well. So I hope we see a glimpse of what that OS looks like and the UI looks like, because I want it to look and feel as like an Xbox device, right? Whether it's on a Lenovo, whether it's on a whatever, I want to be able to think I can go buy that thing and boot it up and have an Xbox in front of my eyes, right? So that's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. We'll see if they get there yet.
It's interesting because getting the console like experience across something like a tablet, like for instance, I know it's a small, subtle thought, but I think that if you are trying to get people to play on anything, you need to give them an experience that is one to rule them all, so to speak. Kind of like the One Ring, right? The Xbox boot screen and your dashboard, whatever it's going to be called, need to look and act the same that you get on console. Like when I go to my console right here and I turn it on, you get the Xbox load screen, goes right to your dashboard whatever picture you had there is there. All of your games that you've played are there, and all the abilities that you need to maneuver around using your controller are there. You go to the store, you can see what needs to be updated. You can scroll down to see what's in Game Pass, what's been added recently. If they are serious, and it appears they are very serious about this, Matt. Like isn't a
Yeah.
joke, right? This isn't just a second thought or a Hail Mary. Hey, let's see if we can make some waves. This honestly is their future. They are trying to change the industry in a way that I personally think Nintendo and PlayStation are 5 to 7 years behind them. If they figure this out, and this OS is going to, because again, where else would you debut something like this? Well, it'd be CES. And it just so happens that this is CES 2025. We know that they are pushing the envelope and really trying to sell you on this is an Xbox, meaning that anything that has a screen, that has the ability to connect to the internet, is going to be somewhere where you, as a gamer, can play. And I think that, like for instance, you take a guy like me. I have I've had the Steam Deck. I have a ROG Ally. I don't use it because it doesn't act like an Xbox. And honestly, that's really the truth of the matter is it's too PC for me. I like the power. I don't mind having to update drivers and things of that nature. I don't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to just go, turn it on, and I want the same experience that I can get on my console on whatever I'm using. Now, that is definitely going to happen, Mav, with the handheld that is rumored to be coming out. And again, I thought it was this year, and maybe it is. Maybe it still is. But at latest, it's going to be 2026. Me personally, like I've said before, I think that's too late to get into the game. I think they need to get into the game now, and save 2026 for your hybrid console that's going to merge PC with console, and it's going to once again change gaming forever. Meaning, giving you the open source. And again, you're a PC guy, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. If they can merge the two, where it acts and plays like a console and does all its updating itself, but gives you the power of PC and the ability to play your Steam library and your Epic Game Store library, it's going to change the game, no pun intended. But I think you're onto something, and I just want to get your thoughts on this. Do you feel that there is an important aspect for having this one OS, this one UI, if you will, to act and be the same on all devices?
Yes. So right now, like if you go onto the PC, you get a slightly different experience. Right now, if you go onto like cloud gaming, you get a slightly different experience. And if you go onto the console, you get kind of like more or so the complete experience, right? So the issue with that is like familiarity, right? So you have your PC gamers, you have your console gamers, you have your cloud people that are willing to play on mobile in the cloud. Now they've made insanely good strides with the cloud gaming. Like I don't know if people are familiar or have been using it that much, but especially on the Edge browser, I don't know if it works the same on everything, but I use the Edge browser because it's Microsoft, so I thought maybe it'd work best there. I don't know. It's just my thinking. But anyway, if I use the Edge browser, I go to xbox.com /play. And man, the experience there feels like, okay, this is looking more like a native, like kind of Xbox dashboard in some ways. Like the way the game tiles are streamed across the screen, the ease it is to select things. It goes into full screen mode really simply and easily. You launch your game, it launches within seconds, and then it looks better than it ever did before, too. So I see the work that they've been doing on their apps. Also, they said that there's more news to come on the Xbox app in March, uh, which is GDC. So there's more news coming there as well regarding the Xbox app. So this is all the groundwork, all the things that they're doing, all of the things that are being implemented with the game ownership via the cloud, with the games being added to the Xbox app on PC, with the updates on the Xbox app on the PC, with all these things. It's everything coming together to change and to morph into what we're going to see closer to next gen, right? Now, where we could see a glimpse of it though is on the third party devices first, because that's just software based, right? More so than anything. Like if you're launching, the other companies are manufacturing those hardwares. So could you end up having something and using these other companies as kind of like the bridge to the gap to get you to the point where you need to be in a few years, right? And that's where they could be starting off with these devices like Lenovo and Asus and all these other kind of things. So I think it's important to have it all as one, to where it's like the same experience. You know, I want to be able to boot up my handheld device, whether it's Xbox created or if it's a third party company created, if it's running that operating system, right? I want to be able to boot it up and have the experience of, hey, here's all my games, right? Here's how you start a party. Here's how you invite people. This is just streamlined, exactly like it would be on a console. And that includes cloud too. Like the cloud needs to get closer to that, which they're making strides and improvement on. But once the cloud, the PC app, and the console experience kind of becomes the same, I think we all win, because in that regard, console gamers, who most of all of us are, right? I play on PC, but I still play primarily on console. So in the future, when we have our TVs around the house, if you want to buy a console, having access to other storefronts, because you can get out of the default Xbox mode, would allow you to take advantage of other deals from other companies, Steam, Epic, GOG, all those other kind of things. Import your library onto there. Do whatever you want. You could even maybe run Office apps or something. Whatever you feel like doing, right? On your TVs, right? And then you have access to all your games, which adds more value to the box, adds more value to your games as well. And that's the future I want to see. Whether they can realize it is going to be the interesting thing, just because of the putting all the Xbox games, the consoles, which they said is very important. They use the words forward compatibility. They use words game preservation. They're very, very, very adamant about that being the core aspect of what this is all about, right? That's the key, but that involves making sure all of our games move forward with this new vision, right? So that's the one thing they got to make sure they get right for sure.
CES 2025 with Jason Ronald, Mav, is going to be very, very
Yes.
interesting. I'm very
And
much
then
looking forward to it.
GDC in March, yeah, as
And
well.
GDC in March,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing. You made mention of that, and I know it's not really part of the conversation, but there are some rumors, Mav. There are some talking rumors throughout the community that could be where they actually unveil the handheld. And it does kind of make sense if you think about it, because Jason Ronald got promoted to vice president of Next Gen. All right, that's his new title. He's going to be here at CES 2025, which happens on January 7th through January 10th. Right from there, we are hearing that the third week into the new year, there's going to be a developers direct. That is the running conversation. That is the running rumor. Then, of course, in March, you have this next big tech event. I mean, damn, have hit the ground running. Mind you, February, we got Avowed. And supposedly, and again, it's a rumor, that April may be south of midnight. I mean, if all of these things continue to just happen for Xbox, it is going to be one heck of a dynamite year. And two big tech shows coming up. We know for sure they're going to be there. We just don't know exactly what they're doing. And that, Mav, is the exciting part.
Yeah. And then we got Dev Direct coming up in January. So
Yeah, third
Jan-
weekend. Yeah.
yeah, January you'll have Dev Direct, you'll have you'll have whatever the Justin Ronald CES thing is. Then we'll have February, you're gonna have Avowed. then follow that. It's just release after release after release because I think they're gonna not want to have more games in the later half as much as the first half, or especially before before October,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to take like the first 9 months of the year, I think is when the majority of their games are going to drop this year. So it'll be interesting to see. I think there'll be one bigger one for later, but they're going to hold off on announcing any release dates, I believe, for GTA 6. So right now they're planning on being before GTA 6. If GTA 6 ends up announcing its release date, then they might move some things around, right? But yeah, I think it's going to be a crazy busy year on Xbox. Um, it's about the games, man. We're going to be playing a lot of games this year.